What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Last Friday, me and my uncle gave you guys a week 3 line, and what did it do? It dropped 131, cashed in all formats. Would have been much bigger if Matthew Stafford and Tate would have counted at the end of that game. I'm glad my Falcons won, but still, that was a close one. And Michael Crabtree went missing, but you know what? It is what it is. It's time to go ahead straight to week 4 and dominate. Me and my uncle will post another line for you guys to run with on Friday night if you guys are down for that. Comment down in the comment section if you want that line. Then let me know. All right. At the end of this video, I'll be announcing the winner of the NBA 2K18 giveaway. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining. At the end of this video, I will announce the winner of that, so you got to watch the video before you get that. All right, let's go ahead and touch on NFL Week 4. I'm going to touch on my favorite plays in DFS at each position, okay? I'm not going to do my regular high five. I'm going to touch on my favorite plays at each position. Like, I'm going to break it down more, all right? So here we go. Let's start at quarterback. Tom Brady at 8,000. All right, Tom just absolutely went nuts against Houston, dropping 39. Carolina's allowing 281 passing yards a game to quarterback. All right, I mean, if you look at the past matchups, Drew Brees just dropped 20.8 on them. Okay, and Drew Brees has a very bad offensive line, and their team was struggling, period. He went in there and dropped that on them. Okay, week 1, they faced Hoyer. Week 2, they faced Tyrod Taylor. Week 3, they finally faced a good quarterback in Drew Brees and got rocked. I've been telling you guys, this Carolina secondary is not good. Tom Brady is a very good option at 8,000. He's always there available to take. So, yeah, Tom Brady at 8,000 is definitely in play. But I've got some cheaper guys, too, if you decide you don't want to go that route. All right? Next up on the list that I want to talk about, let's go ahead and touch on Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota's going against Houston. Houston is not allowing a ton of passing yards, but you see what they just did to New England. Okay, New England just dropped a shit ton of points on them. Tom Brady dropped 39 Draftkings points, and Mariota is mobile, and he can do it through the air, okay? One thing about Houston is they're like middle of the pack when it comes to stopping the pass. They're middle of the pack when it comes to stopping the run. What does that mean? That means that the pass and the run is going to work for Mariota. I think this could be a good, solid little game at 6,400, and his ownership might be very, very low as well. All right? Next up, Phillip Rivers versus Philly. I like this Chargers team versus Philadelphia, especially through the air. Okay, Philly's allowing 262 passing yards a game, over 262 passing yards a game, and nearly 2 touchdowns a game. So, yeah, Philly is giving up nearly 2 touchdowns a game through the air. Phillip Rivers hasn't been outstanding, but we all know his type of potential and what he can put up. Okay, Eli Manning just torched Philly for 27 Draftkings points. All right, Phillip Rivers can definitely do the same. I love Phillip Rivers. He's one of my favorite at 6,300 because I see this game staying close. And the way for the Chargers to keep the game close is going to be through the air because Philly is solid on the ground. Okay, they're solid stopping the run. All right, so I do like Phillip Rivers, and I think this stays as a close game as well. Dak Prescott had a great Monday night. He looked very, very good. One thing about the Rams, though, is they are only allowing 232 passing yards a game to quarterback. They have actually been very solid versus quarterbacks. Their major weakness is at running back, and you know what that means. I think Zeke is going to completely eat. He is going to eat until he's just completely full in this game against the Rams. I mean, they're bottom in the league, okay? Bottom in the league at stopping the run. All right, this is where Zeke is really going to eat, and he's going to tear them apart. Okay, but let's go ahead and keep talking about quarterbacks. Carson Palmer going against San Francisco. Yes, that is a good option. San Francisco's nearly allowing 2 passing touchdowns a game. Okay, and Palmer averages over 23 DraftKings points in his last 4 home games. Okay, so he plays much better at home. He's going against a San Francisco team that might have just got their offensive started to click here against the Rams in week 3. They got that offense going. They finally looked very good. If they can do that same type of offensive production against Arizona, who is a better defense, okay, if they can get that offense still going, Arizona's going to have to throw, and Carson Palmer can end up being one of the best plays of the day. Like I said, he plays much better at home, averaging 24 DraftKings points in his last 4 home games. Okay? All right. Another guy that I want to talk about, guys, and I'm very interested in this dude. I do want to mention one thing, Cam Newton. Okay? Pay attention to, I know Kelvin Benjamin is banged up, and he's already lost Greg Olsen. Okay? Pay attention to what happens with Kelvin Benjamin. I'm hoping, honestly, I don't want Kelvin to get more injured, obviously, but I at least want him to be out there as a decoy, even if he's a little bit shaken still. Because at least at that point, it still opens up McCaffrey to go ridiculous. I think Cam Newton is going to have to throw a lot in this game, so he could end up being sneaky. Now, I'm not saying he's a cash game quarterback, because obviously not. Not the way he's been playing, and with all of his weapons gone. But Devin Funchess could be a great play here because he's got to throw it to somebody, and he's going to have to throw. Okay, Christian McCaffrey and Devin Funchess are definitely on the verge of really being amazing plays here, and they're all very, very cheap going against a New England team that is not good against quarterbacks, allowing 262 passing yards a game, which is worst in the league. They are worst in the league against quarterbacks. Listen to this. Week 1, Alex Smith dropped 34 DraftKings points. Week 2, Drew Brees dropped 25. Okay, Week 3, Watson dropped 25. Okay, if Watson can do it, Cam can do it, even with his limited targets. Even with his limited amount of targets, he can be a solid play at 59. I would only play him at GPP, but nobody is going to have the balls to tell you this. And I need to tell you that Cam Newton in a GPP could end up winning this fucker for you. All right? Now, he's going to have a very tough time with all of his targets out, but McCaffrey and Funchess are going to be great plays, and Cam Newton could end up being a solid play here against the league's worst through the air. All right? And against a team that's going to score a lot against them. Okay? Carolina's going to have to do nothing but throw. So keep that in mind, guys. I know a lot of people are going to write off Cam Newton, but hey, I'm good at what I do. I got to make sure I mention these guys that I've looked at, all right? You got to look at this shit, all right? A lot of people were on Cam Newton, and they got let down against New Orleans. He lost Kelvin Benjamin. He lost Greg Olsen. But he's still in the NFL. He still has guys on his team that play in the NFL. They are good enough to be in the NFL, so they are good enough targets for Cam to be able to move the ball against the league's worst secondary, having to do nothing but throw. All right? So just keep that in mind, guys. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Let's talk about a few other guys. I want to talk about Carson Wentz. I passed right over him at 6,600 going against the Chargers. Now, the Chargers are very good through the air. Okay? They are very good through the air, only allowing 237 passing yards a game. But week 1, Trevor Siemian dropped 23 DraftKings points against them. Okay? So, with the Chargers, with me expecting the Chargers to be as solid as I expect them to be going against this Philly secondary, I would expect Carson Wentz to have to throw to keep up in this one. So Carson Wentz is definitely in play. If I had to tell you guys a guy that I like the most value-wise, I would have to talk about this guy right here that I'm going to talk last but not least. Actually, I've got 2 more. All right, 2 more. Eli Manning. Yeah, my boy Eli Manning going against Tampa Bay. Now, one thing about Tampa Bay is they are horrible at stopping the pass. They're like New England. They're a team that you pick on by throwing the ball. Okay, they're allowing 267 passing yards a game to quarterback. Now, in week 3, Brent Grimes missed week 3. If Brent Grimes misses week 4, of course, Odell Beckham is even a better play. But I love Odell Beckham and Eli Manning in this matchup. I even like adding Brandon Marshall to this one because Tampa Bay is so bad against the pass. They are so bad, okay? Eli Manning, it looked like their offense finally got it clicking. All right, Case Keenum just dropped 31 Draftkings points against Tampa Bay. You think Eli can't go for that? Like, for real. Like, Eli Manning is going to be a beast at 5,700, man. Definitely make sure you consider him. All right, another guy I want to talk about is Tyrod Taylor going against Atlanta. Atlanta's given up 272 passing yards a game. All right, they held Stafford to 16. All right, they're decent, but the problem is they are very good. They have actually been very good against the run this year. Against when a team actually hands the ball to their running back on the ground, Atlanta has actually been very solid, okay, against that. Okay, so I expect Buffalo to have to attack them by throwing the ball. Now, I love Lesean Mccoy, but McCoy's going to be getting a lot of receptions, and that's why I love Lesean McCoy. Lesean McCoy has gotten 7 targets in the last 2 games. He's going to get more than that against Atlanta, a team where that's how you attack them. Tyrod Taylor is going to have to throw in this matchup. They're in the Dome in Atlanta on the turf. It's a good matchup for Tyrod Taylor, man. At 5,300, a guy who's going to have to be throwing the ball a lot. And, I mean, if you look at his production this year, 19, 10, and 17. So a 19 or 17, if he can just get a little bit more than that, he is amazing value at 5,300. So definitely consider Tyrod Taylor. I love him. All right, let's go ahead to running backs, guys. Let's touch on all the best running back options. Starting off, we got Le'Veon Bell versus Baltimore. But here's the problem. Baltimore's only allowing 84 rushing yards a game to running back. They did just allow Leonard Fournette to drop 17. But before that, they kept both of the running backs before him to a total of 6 DraftKings points scored against them. Baltimore is solid, and I just don't want to pay 8,700 for a Le'Veon Bell who still hasn't really showed up yet. He still hasn't, I mean, scoring the 20 he scored week 3, that's not what we want out of that price tag. All right, so I'm going to skip on that. I love Lesean McCoy at 8,400. McCoy's going against a Falcons team that cannot stop pass-catching backs, and McCoy can catch that ball too. And that's where I think that Buffalo's going to use him most. All right, Buffalo's going to be down in this game against Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta at home looked deadly against Green Bay. Okay, Atlanta in that dome on the turf, okay, Atlanta's going to be deadly. So Lesean McCoy is going to be catching passes. Tyrod Taylor is going to have to be throwing. Okay, and the last 2 games for McCoy, 10 and 13, might keep his ownership level down. So we'll have to see how that goes. But it might keep his ownership level down a little bit. Understand that he's not going to destroy Atlanta on the ground. Where he's going to take advantage of Atlanta is catching the ball out of the backfield against a team that just can't stop pass-catching backs at all. That is where he's going to take advantage. All right? Next up, my favorite running back of the day, 8,200, Ezekiel Elliott. I talked about him when I talked about Dak a minute ago. I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to eat until he's completely just full. All right? Like, I love Ezekiel Elliott in this matchup, man. The Rams are giving up a ton on the ground. They are dead last against running backs. All right? Ezekiel Elliott is going to be the way for Dallas to attack the Rams. The Rams are solid versus the pass, but they have huge holes in their run defense. Okay? Ezekiel Elliott is an amazing play, so definitely consider him at 8,200. He's my favorite running back. I think he scores more than any other running back on the slate. Okay, but we got a lot of good running backs on this slate, which is why I kind of want to pay downish at my quarterback and spend up for receiver and running back, because these guys, there's a lot of good little options. For example, Todd Gurley. Now, Dallas has only been holding rushers to 73 rushing yards a game, but Gurley has gotten 16 or more touches. Okay, he's rushed 16 or more times the last 3 games. He's getting the ball a lot. Okay, and he dropped 40 against San Francisco. This dude's been absolutely wild. He gets involved in the offense in any type of situation. Okay, they'll pass to him, they'll run him 25, but they will. One thing you know about that Rams offense is they will use Todd Gurley and use him often. So if you want a guy straight off value, like off volume of touches, Todd Gurley at 7,800 is going to be getting a shit ton of usage. He's always in play until he calms the fuck down. All right. Another guy I love, Devontae Freeman. Buffalo's allowing 106 rushing yards a game to running back and nearly a touchdown a game to running back. Devontae Freeman kills it inside of domes. He's amazing on turf. Matter of fact, he averages over 100% more fantasy points in domes, which is ridiculous. That's a lot of fucking fantasy points that he scores more in domes. The fact they're at home in Atlanta, he looked great against Green Bay in the dome. Then he just looked great against Detroit. I expect him to keep it rolling here. Now, Buffalo is a solid-ish defense, but the fact they're giving up 106 rushing yards a game and nearly a touchdown a game, I think Devontae Freeman's going to take advantage of him here and show out. So I like Devontae Freeman at 7,300. Melvin Gordon, not so much because, Philly's solid against the run, okay? And Melvin Gordon's a little banged up. A guy I do want to mention, and I told you guys about him when I was talking about Cam Newton. Now, nobody will be on Cam. Think about it. Kelvin Benjamin and Greg Olsen are out. Nobody's going to be on Cam. But understand that New England is going to score with ease, and all Cam Newton's going to do is drop back and heave it. And who is he going to throw to? Christian McCaffrey or Devin Funchess? Okay, in DFS, you have to understand this. A lot of people are going to look at it like, oh, he has no targets. I'm scared. In GPP, run Cam Newton. You know I keep it real with you. In GPP, running Cam Newton is the perfect strategy. In GPP, in tourneys. I'm not saying to do that in double-ups because it's not the safe route to go. But at least make a few tournament lineups where you got Cam Newton in there. I'm telling you, and pair him up with Christian McCaffrey. This dude has been a beast, man. He got a ridiculous amount of targets. 11 targets in this last game. I expect him to get around there, the same there. I definitely expect the same, man. He's going to get a lot of targets in this past game with so many receivers banged up. I love Christian McCaffrey at 6,800. I think he ends up being a big sleeper this week, especially with Cam Newton's targets so out. Yeah, I love Christian McCaffrey. Leonard Fournette going against the Jets. This Jets defense used to be known for their run D, and now they're just not. Okay, they did hold Jay Ajayi to 4 Draftkings points, but Ajayi is dealing with some stuff. All right, his leg is always hurting him. But week 1, they gave up 23 to Lesean McCoy. All right, this Jacksonville defense is very, very good, which is going to keep this score low. Okay, but one guy I do expect to succeed is Leonard Fournette. So I like Leonard Fournette at 67. Obviously, I would rather spend up for a Christian McCaffrey at 68 when he's the only weapon on that offense now, or Ezekiel Elliott at 82. But other than that, let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about C.J. Anderson going against Oakland. He had a down week. He had a down week 3. All right, which is why a lot of people will be off of him. Okay, and Oakland has been solid against the run, holding DeMarco Murray to 8 Draftkings points, then holding Bilal Powell to 1, okay, and then week 3 actually doing decent as well, except Chris Thompson. They're not doing well against pass-catching backs at all. C.J. Anderson isn't much of a pass-catching back, but he has shown that he can catch a few balls out of the backfield. And in this matchup, I don't expect Oakland to move the ball that well in Denver and C.J. Anderson to get a lot of run. This is where you want to play C.J. At 5,600, this is definitely where you want to take advantage and play C.J. All right? Next up, a guy that I definitely want to mention. Let me find him. My boy, where is he? Jaquez Rodgers. There he is. Going against the Giants. Jaquez Rodgers is a great play here, man, because guess what? New York sucks against the run. They absolutely suck against the run, but they're actually decent versus the pass. Okay? What is that going to do? That's finally going to give Jaquez Rodgers the opportunity. Now, Doug Martin isn't coming back till week 5. So that's going to give Jaquez Rodgers the opportunity to finally get that 20-plus touches like he did last year when he got his opportunity and he got us over like 20 DraftKings points every game he started. This is where he's going to do it. And nearly everybody is going to be off of Jacquizz Rodgers going against the Giants, who are bottom in the league at run defense. I absolutely love Jacquizz Rodgers. I love him. All right, run up Jacquizz Rodgers. I know it sounds crazy. All right, but you got to look at this, man. They're allowing 153 rushing yards a game. You see that? Dead last in the league. That is where you attack the Giants. That is what they're going to do. Jacquizz Rodgers, I love him at 4,400. He is a steal and very, very cheap. All right, let's talk about wide receivers, guys. Odell Beckham Jr. As you saw in the picture before you clicked into this video, I love me some Odell Beckham. All right, he's going against the Tampa Bay team. That secondary is just garbage. They just gave up 40 DraftKings points to Stefon Diggs. 40. All right, I'm not lying. He really gave up. They gave up 40 DraftKings points to Stefon Diggs. Okay, in their defense, Brent Grimes, who's a solid cornerback, did not play week 3. Now, pay attention and see if he plays week 4, but honestly, it's not bothering me at all. Even if Brent Grimes plays, Odell Beckham is just ridiculous. And the Giants looked like they finally got their offense rolling. All right, they got Brandon Marshall involved. They got Sterling Shepard involved, which just opened up for everybody. I love Odell Beckham here in this matchup against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is not good versus the pass at all, allowing 177 reception yards a game to wide receiver. That's a lot, okay? So Odell Beckham at 8,900 is my favorite wide receiver on the board. I'm not going to be bothering with anybody else. The only other guy I would spend really big on is A.J. Green versus Cleveland. Cleveland, week 1, gave up 32 to Antonio Brown. Week 3, they give up 31 to Ty Hilton. A.J. Green looks like he is finally getting usage in that offense. I told you guys all last week, start A.J. Green and figure the rest out. I'm telling you, A.J. Green is going to become the A.J. Green that we all expect. And what did he do? He went out there and dropped 30 DraftKings points against Green Bay and looked great. All right? And he was targeted a shit ton of times. Okay? He got 13 targets and caught 10 passes. Look at that. All right, look. He has a great matchup against Cleveland. Cincinnati's defense has not been good, so I can see Kaiser and company actually putting points on the board. And A.J. Green having to catch the ball. So I love A.J. and Odell Beckham. If you're going to spend up a wide receiver, those are my two favorites. I got another that's a little bit down the list a little bit, but that's Keenan Allen going against Philly. Philly just gave up 28 DraftKings points to Beckham, but before that, they actually held Tyreek Hill to 8 and then Crowder to 3. But Philly, all in all, is allowing 187 reception yards a game to a wide receiver. All right, and this is a great situation for Keenan Allen, man. I told you guys how much I love Phillip Rivers. I would be wrong to say that I'm not feeling his main target as well. When you love a quarterback, you pretty much love the number 1 target as well, and that's Keenan Allen. In this matchup, I expect this to be a good game as well and to stay close. So I like Keenan Allen a lot. Keep him in mind. Next up, I want to talk about DeAndre Hopkins going against Tennessee. Tennessee's allowing over 185 reception yards a game and over a touchdown a game to wide receiver. Who is targeted the most on this Houston offense? DeAndre Hopkins. Who is going in with confidence going against Tennessee because they almost nearly beat the Patriots? DeAndre Hopkins. All right, I think DeAndre ends up going ridiculous in this game, and this is one of my near must starts at 6,400. I absolutely love DeAndre Hopkins going against Tennessee. They have no answers for him. No answers at all. So definitely consider DeAndre Hopkins. Keep in mind that Golden Tate's probably going to have Rhodes guarding him, Xavier Rhodes, which is going to open up for Marvin Jones and Galladay. Okay, make sure you keep that in mind. Now, do I really want to play offensive guys against Minnesota? No. Okay, no, I don't. But keep in mind that it will open up a little bit for Marvin Jones and stuff. That second cornerback from Minnesota is not near as good as Xavier Rhodes. Xavier does actually follow around the team's best wide receiver. So he's probably going to follow around Golden Tate. If we all got to be real, Golden Tate's their best receiver. That's going to leave Marvin Jones some openings. So I like Marvin. Consider Marvin for sure. Larry Fitzgerald's another guy I want to talk about at 6,100 going against San Francisco. He is a San Fran killer. Last year, he dropped 28 DraftKings points and 26 DraftKings points the 2 times he faced San Francisco. San Francisco so far this year is allowing over a reception touchdown a game to wide receivers. Larry Fitzgerald has 8 red zone targets in the past 3 games. I love me some Larry Fitzgerald. All right, he is a San Fran killer. He's at home in Arizona going against a bad secondary. So that's another guy I really like in this one. All right, now let's talk about some other guys. I talked about, I didn't talk about Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs had a huge day, but he's going to be matched up with Darius Slay, one of the better cornerbacks in the league. That's going to open up a lot for Adam Thielen. Yes, I do like Adam Thielen. All right, I think Adam Thielen gets a lot of openings at 5,800 with Darius Slay being on Stefon Diggs. All right, now, who else we want to talk about? Let's go ahead and talk about our boy who just actually finally came out of from the dead, Brandon Marshall. Now, I like this Giants offense against Tampa Bay. They can't stop the pass at all. I think Eli has a very good game here. Okay? A very good game here. Brandon Marshall finally showed up. Tampa Bay is allowing a lot of reception yards. Okay? And they've been giving up a lot of points. Some very solid points to teams' second wide receivers. All right? For example, in week 2, Thompson scored 15 DraftKings points. And then Adam Thielen, the second from Minnesota, dropped 15 DraftKings points. So they're giving up a solid amount of DraftKings points to wide receiver 2s. I can see Brandon Marshall getting 15 plus here. And at 46, he's a steal for that. I got to be real. He's a steal for that. I love Brandon Marshall. He's even less than Sterling Shepard. I understand Sterling Shepard had a huge game against Philly, and I'm on him too. I'm cool with you guys playing any of these Giants receivers. It's a great situation for them. Tampa Bay's defensive line is solid, okay? But Tampa Bay's secondary is not good at all. So Odell is in play. Brandon Marshall's in play. Sterling Shepard's in play. Eli Manning's in play. And I expect this game to stay close as well. On the Tampa Bay side, obviously, you play Mike Evans pretty much every week if you're in a season-long league. I don't know if you have to in DFS this week because Javorius Jenkins is actually solid. He's a very good corner. But Mike Evans is much bigger than him. So keep that in mind. He could just Winston could just throw the ball up to Mike Evans every single play, and Mike Evans come down with it. So, all right, guys, that's it. That's what we're going to talk about for wide receiver. We covered all the best options. At tight end, let's cover some tight ends, guys. Obviously, you got Gronk. Carolina's allowing nearly a touchdown a game to tight ends. The last 2 games, Gronk has showed up. So, of course, if you decide to spend up for a Brady, I would say pair him up with Gronk at 66. Why not? Now, Gronk is expensive, and I don't, majority of the time, do not do that. Okay? Like, if I'm going to spend down, I'm definitely going with a Charles Clay versus Atlanta. You know, Atlanta's allowing a lot to tight ends this year. Okay? They've been able to hold him out of the end zone, but I think Clay could actually get in here. Okay? Atlanta's only allowed 8 DraftKings points against Zach Miller, 9 DraftKings points against Martellus Bennett, and then held Ebron to 2. But Charles Clay is a bigger focal point of the Buffalo offense than those other tight ends are for theirs. So Charles Clay is a great option at 3,700. I'll definitely consider him. You got Jared Cook against Denver. One thing about Denver is they're not good against tight ends, and that's carrying over from last year. They gave up 25 to Witten and then gave up 15 to Clay last week. Jared Cook is a solid play at 3,400. Other than that, I'm really not going to spend too down on tight end, guys. I'm really not going to spend down on tight end. I'm just going to kind of get a mediocre middle guy. I'll probably end up with Cook or Clay with their matchups. Brait, obviously, is a good matchup because the Giants are horrible versus tight end, allowing the most yards in the league when it comes to 60 5 reception yards a game to tight end. They've been giving up a lot. Witten with 18. Ebron scored 15. Ertz scored 18. And now they're going against Bray. Obviously isn't as good as the other 3 I just mentioned, but he's good enough to get targeted in this offense, especially if they see in their game plan that the Giants' weakness is on the ground into tight ends. So there's going to be a lot of Jaquez Rodgers and a lot of our boy Cameron Brate. Let's talk defenses. There's not many options that I'm really caring for here. So pretty much I'm going to stick with one team. We'll talk about a few other options that are in play, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are by far the best option to me against the New York Jets. The Jets just have no offense. They are garbage, and Jacksonville has been absolutely on fire. All right, Case Keenum starting from Minnesota. Maybe the Lions could be a little sneaky, but Keenum looked great. I would only take that shot in GPP. Maybe if Keenum finally comes down to earth here in this game against Detroit, I could see the Lions possibly giving him some problems, but he looked great. And I can see him connecting with Thielen often. All right, another defense that we could go with would be the Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, it looked like they finally got their offense going, but they take a lot of sacks. All right, they take nearly 4 sacks a game. So Cardinals are going to get in that backfield and get some sacks on them. So I definitely like the Cardinals as well. I think the Bengals are in play. Other than that, guys, that's about it. I would go Jacksonville. And if I don't go Jacksonville, I would go the Lions, possibly in GPP. I'm going Jacksonville in nearly every line. But if I wanted it to be different in GPP, I would say Cardinals and Lions are good GPP defenses. But yeah, Jaguars in everything. All right. Good luck, everybody. Hey, the winner of the NBA 2K18 giveaway from last week is Trey Williams, T-R-E Williams. All right, hit me up on Twitter at @Cam_ATL. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining the giveaway. I appreciate you guys. We'll do another one very soon. Make sure you drop a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down in that comment section any question you guys might have for me. Follow me on Twitter at @Cam_ATL. Thank you guys for watching. As always, good luck, and I'm out.